Hello, everybody. Ali Duzette here. And today I just wanted to talk about the Pluto return. Again, there's so much to be said about it. And it's coming up in February in just probably like 3 weeks now at this point. And so, okay, let's just talk about it. Okay, let's pull up. So this time, go ahead. You can ask your questions as we go. My goal is just to talk about this for an hour, and then we'll just put the recording up on YouTube, and that will be really fun for my YouTube friends. I get some emails sometimes. They say, oh, how do I get on the live stuff? You have to get on my email list and or join my Facebook group, and that's where I post the link to these kinds of Zoom videos that we just do to hang out. Okay, so this is America's birthday. And I did an interview with somebody some time ago, and I talked about this, and this person was like a little bit horrified that I was counting America's birthday from 1776 because of the indigenous people and everything like this. And so I just want to mention, this is the birthday of America as like a legal entity, right? As like a corporation, as a government, okay? And so we count it from July 4th, 1776, 5:10 p.m., Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is the first breath of America, according to astrologers, and people have been using this exact date and time for like decades, I mean, centuries. So anyways, this is what we use. Yes, obviously people lived here first, but they did not form the government that we all pay taxes to today, right? This is the first breath of the behemoth entity that is our government currently. And so this is what we're working with. So we'll just say, and again, I use a tropical Placidus. Other people are going to use different kinds of charts, and they're going to be all a little bit different. Okay, go and have fun. Go do a thing. So, okay, our Cancer sun for the United States has a Cancer sun at 13 degrees of Cancer. Here, you can type your questions into the chat if that's okay. Venus is conjunct Jupiter in the natal chart, which I think makes a lot of sense. Venus deals with like money. Okay, let's put it this way. Jupiter is the great benefic, which means that anywhere Jupiter is, there's lots of blessings, lots of blessings. Jupiter expands everything that it touches. It makes it bigger. It makes it better. It flows down all the good stuff. Venus also deals with money, resources. Venus is called the lesser benefic, and it also is associated with blessings. It's the feminine energy. It's associated with blessings because feminine energy is receptive energy. It receives the good things. So that's what's going on here. Whenever you see Venus conjunct Jupiter, what a delight. That's good news. And so, and here we have this conjunct the sun in actually what I would call a stellium, which means they're so tight and close together that the sun and Jupiter and Venus all, their energies kind of meld. And so we have seen that I feel like America has been richly blessed, right? We have the most technology and the most money, and overall speaking, we've been a pretty blessed nation as a whole. And that is this energy right here. Okay, our natal moon as a nation is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is very humanitarian. Aquarius really wants to save the world and to help everybody. And I think we can see how America has really tried to do that, playing the world's policeman at times. This is Pallas conjunct the moon. So our strategic thinking comes as a nation. We are really thinking about how are we going to take care of everybody at home? How are we going to take care of everybody abroad as well? So this is that. And now I'll mention our nodal path. Our natal nodal path as a nation goes from the south node of Aquarius. Again, that's going to be dealing with how do we take care of everybody, over to Leo. And Leo is self-centered. Leo is saying, how am I going to take care of myself? So we have this trajectory of how are we going to take care of everybody? How am I going to take care of myself? And we have seen this, we can see where we are on this path right now. I'll just mention, I'm sorry, you guys get a little tour of my house because my baby is now mobile and she is a little bit scary. Come here, come stay in here, little fluff. Turn around, come back to me. This is the wrong way. We have a cat, so she's always like eating the cat food, you know? Stop it. Okay. So anyway, I was going to say that I've always been obsessed with Social Security. I hate it, to be honest. And this has been my obsession since I was just a little kid. I mean, 12. I started reading books about it and like being obsessed about it, getting special permission in classes to write essays about it instead of like the assigned topic. Gall. But this is the energy of basically like entitlement programs that bankrupt the nation, right? This is this right here is the second house of your own resources. This is the stuff that you earned and you have. This is the house of other people's resources. That's going to be inheritance. That's going to be taxes. Okay. This is other people's stuff. And so here we have this humanitarian mindset. How are we going to use our own money to take care of everybody? Right? Well, how about we just borrow it from our children and our grandchildren, great grandchildren? How about we just get into $1 bajillion of debt? How about that? And then we can take care of everybody. This is the South Node. The South Node is, my friend compared it to like, this is the bottle and that's the AA meeting. Okay, this is the addiction. This is the answer. And so here we have, you know, the addiction is we're just going to take all of these resources that we can and try and save the world. Over here, we're going to say, oh, you know what? No, we're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to cut, you know, I mean, in my opinion, it's very clear that this is about entitlement spending, which of course everybody can disagree on that or whatever, but just the house placement is just so fascinating. And so over here we have the part of fortune conjunct, well, let's just double check see on that part of fortune. This is called an aspectarian. Okay, so it is considered conjunct with Mercury. Oh, yes. Okay, but not, it said not the North Node. But still pretty close. Our treasure is going to be learning how to manage other people's resources in an appropriate way. So this is just a little quick snapshot of the overall point of like America. This is what America is up to. Okay. And I'll mention also that this is America's rising sign is in Sagittarius, which is an expert, right? This is the higher level thinking, the college professor. It's religion. Okay. Sagittarius deals with like churchy type religion, whereas like Pisces deals with like spirituality. This deals with like commandments. Okay. And Sagittarius, to me, it's also like an inventive energy. Like this is the energy of the philosopher, the inventor, the teacher. And I feel like we can really see how America has exemplified this. And this is a really powerful energy that we've brought to the world as a nation, bringing these new inventions, bringing higher level thinking. I mean, everyone in the world is contributing these kinds of things, but let's just say it was Americans that brought us like the iPhone, right? So so these are just some flavors of where are we starting? Where are we starting from? This is where we're starting from. So notice also that this Pluto is in the same house with the South Node, dealing with money and our own resources. Pluto here is in Capricorn at 27 degrees and 33 minutes, and in retrograde, interestingly. Okay. What does this mean? It means that our biggest death and rebirth as a nation is going to have to be about stuff, resources, land, everything that deals with Taurus, because Taurus is the boss of this house. Okay. And so, and it's in an earth sign. We have always been dealing with the call to die and be reborn around money, resources, stuff, and land, earth. Okay. With this Capricorn. And Capricorn is also going to deal with business. Okay. It's also going to deal with taxes. It's going to deal with authoritarianism. It's going to deal with the structure of government as a whole. Capricorn is definitely the sign of like government. What is governing and how is it doing it? Okay. So let's go up and talk about America's Pluto return. Okay, February 20th, 2022. And I always, in my mind, I'm like 22. It's really the 20th, but it'll all be basically about the same. But okay, today is, I don't know what day it is, guys. The 27th. Okay, so yeah, it really is about 3 weeks away. Math, yeah. Okay, so, and I'll just remind you that on January the 12th of 2020, this is when this energy first kicked off. Okay, and actually let's pull it up. And I see somebody raising their hand. If you could unraise your hand and type in any questions into the chat, that would be good. I'm gonna run a let's just say January 12th, 2020 chart. January 12th, 2020. I'm just going to do 11 a.m. I know it's not like the true time, but you'll see it'll be close enough. Washington, oops, cancel, DC. Okay, so this was January the 12th of 2020. And so this is not the true time. It was not at 11:11. Things were not exactly lined up at 22 degrees, but see this Capricorn, 21 degrees, 22 degrees of Capricorn is where it ended up. Pluto, Saturn, the sun, and Mercury were all at 22 degrees. And I thought that Ceres was also, and I don't think I have her on my chart. So let's pull up my settings. Displayed points. See if that adds her. There we go. So here we see. There it is. That's what I was looking for. So you see they will all line up at 22 degrees. And let's just make this hours. And we're going to go to 2 o'clock. So like basically by 2:22, they're all basically at 22 degrees, which is pretty crazy, right? So this is the energy that kicked off the year 2020 and kicked off this Pluto return. And I mention it because I just want to mention that this energy, astrologers have had their eyes on this for a long time, long. And then it showed up and nothing happened that day. Like, I don't know if you remember that day. I do, because I was like, what will happen? Nothing happened. But 3 weeks later, Donald Trump shuts down the border to Wuhan. It's coronavirus. 3 months later, everything is shut down, 2 weeks to stop the spread. And now here we are, and we're still kind of going through this like long tunnel of this stuff. And it's leading up to this stuff. Okay, this is the Pluto return that's coming up in 3 weeks. If my birthday is January 12th, does that mean anything different or particular for me? Just that 2020 year, you carried that energy of that date with you through the whole year. So whatever you experienced in 2020 after your birthday, that is probably it was probably very symbolic of this whole energy leading up to this Pluto return, I would guess. Okay, so this is what we're looking at for this upcoming Pluto return, but here is the real secret. Okay, this is not our only Pluto return coming up this year. What? Okay, because Pluto is going retrograde. Do you guys remember I've been doing this Venus retrograde series on YouTube and this Mercury retrograde series? Okay, retrogrades happen when, from the Earth's perspective, it looks like the planets are going backwards. They're not really going backwards, but from us, it just looks that way. And when that happens, how does that affect the weather here on the Earth? Well, it's giving us, it's all the RE words. We research, we relearn, we rethink, we renegotiate. We have to slow down and look back at what's going on. And all the retrogrades are this big chance for us to stop and reevaluate everything in our lives that has to do with the retrograding planet. So we've been looking at, Venus and reevaluating relationships, love, beauty, feminine energy. Right now, we are also in Mercury retrograde, so we've been reevaluating our thought processes, the way we're talking. How are we communicating with other people? How are we dealing with our contracts? How are we dealing with, everything like this, everything related to Mercury, everything related to Venus. So Pluto is going retrograde this year. What does that mean for us? Okay, notice this is at 27 degrees and 33 minutes on February the 20th. Now, I already prepared these charts. We're going to have another Pluto return. What? This one will be on July 11th of this same year. 7-Eleven, guys, 7-Eleven day. That's like so good, easy to remember. Hopefully all the 7-Elevens are open. We will get free Slurpees and keep our eyes peeled for whatever's going on with this. So this is the second Pluto return this year, okay? And you can see it's going to shift up the energy again. And then, oh wait, let's go back. Pluto, where are you? Okay, see this little red guy, RX? Pluto, oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. You're fine. You're fine. Pluto is going to be retrograde along with a lot of other things. Saturn will be retrograde, Vesta will be retrograde, Neptune will be retrograde, Black Moon Lilith is going to be retrograde, and the North nodes, the nodes are pretty much always the retrograde, so that's not a big deal. But a lot of retrograde energy, and so this will be in July. So when we're dealing with this Pluto return that's starting on February the 20th, this energy is going to carry us up through July. So I will be really interested to see, I can't say how it's going to go, but I will be interested to see if it all just moves a little bit faster than it felt like that January 12th conjunction did, just because it's on a compressed timeline. This is a huge energy. And we're going to, but that February to July, I'm so sorry. Yes, I'm bad at math. Okay. February to March, April, May, June, July. So we're going to have like 4.5 months of that first Pluto return energy. And then it's going to, bam, whack us. I always think of it like you're being whacked across the side of your face, like the universe slapping your face back and forth. This will be slap number 2. Oh my gosh, my kids just leave cups full of water on the edges of tables. I'm so glad I caught that. Okay, I know you guys kids do that too. I know it. Okay. This will be number 2 for the year. And then guess what? Pluto will go direct and then keep on moving. And we're going to have a third Pluto return on December 28th, right after Christmas, right? Smacky dibbity dabs between Christmas and New Year's. Okay. And so this is the Pluto return energy that we're going to finish out 2022 with. And then, and this is going to be the energy that pervades the United States and our government for like the next 250 years. This is the complete one that we're really going to be dealing with in the end. But first up, we got this one. Come on, where did you go? So we have a lot to be working with. Okay, let's see, just to get this straight, our energy in and around this 2022 retrograde will mirror our energy in 2020. No, I'm sorry. So that was just for Wendy, who owns Wendy's iPhone. That's the only person to whom that applies because her birthday was that day. Your birthday, the energy of your birthday, like the chart that you run on your birthday, it influences your entire year. Or shall we not say influences, but mirrors your entire year. So for her personally, just her and nobody else watching this, just for her, the energy of her 2020 birthday and that year is probably pretty symbolic of that to now. How often does Black Moon Lilith show up retrograde? I have no idea, to be honest. I have no idea. Why will there be more than one now? If you already explained this, I'll go back and watch. There'll be more than one because Pluto's going retrograde this year, right? As it's going through this area of like late 20s Capricorn degrees. And so, okay, my birthday is the 21st. Yeah, the chart that you run on your birthday that goes to the exact minute of your birth, not the minute, how do I put it? The minute of the signs. So like my son was born at 1:46 a.m. And so sometimes his solar return, his birthday chart is actually from the day before at like 10 p.m. because it's not about the day. You can't just run the chart of your birthday. You have to run it from the moment that the sun goes back to exactly the degree and minute that it was, which may not be the same calendar day and not the same time. So anyway, that's called a solar return chart. Yeah, time of your solar return. Yeah. Okay. So but today I just want to talk about this and bring your attention to the fact we're having 2 more Pluto returns this year. So this is probably going to be a big year. And I feel like we can probably already feel that happening. As far as, has anybody noticed inflation? Like I have, I bet everybody has, right? Inflation is going crazy. I think this is the highest inflation in over 20 years, right? And geez, I've been really wanting to get a new house. And housing is hard to come by these days. And my mom's been like, you have to get it before March because the interest rates are going to go up and they're going to go up like crazy. And she's telling me these horror stories of the houses that she bought in the 80s where they had 9% interest rates and they thought they were getting a good deal. And so anyway, I think we're going to see in the next few weeks and months how these issues accelerate. And remember that, oh, oops, wrong chart. Let me pull up the correct chart. America's birthday. Remember, this is America's like nodal path. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hey, don't cry. Just stay happy. Yeah, stay happy. America's nodal path is dealing with money. This is the axis of money. And so this inflation issue, big spending bills, all of that's going to fall into this axis, and all of that is going to be triggered because Pluto's in there too. Death and rebirth with our money. And here we're already feeling it. Okay, where's the correct chart? Here we go. Yeah. Oh, that's why I'm staying put in my house. I've been in for almost 16 years. Yeah. I'm like thinking, you know what, maybe we'll just stay put and I'll just deal with this house because like things are crazy right now. It's maybe not worth it to move. I don't know. But yeah. So this is the energy that we're heading towards in the next 3 weeks. And then once it hits, probably nothing huge is going to happen that same day, but we're going to see over the next 4 months how this energy comes into play. And my guess is that it will be a little bit powerful and potent, just like the January 12th conjunction was. Like, who can deny that by March of 2020, the world was a really different place than it was in 2019, right? This is the same kind of thing. That was the prelude. This is the real deal. 2022, we're getting the 3 slaps, and then I'm not going to say it's smooth sailing because it probably won't be, but this is the stuff that's going to set the stage for the next stuff. So we have some comments. Death and rebirth with our money. Maybe we're going back to the gold standard. Oh my gosh, I wish, but I super doubt it, but that would be great. Hopefully this means we will break free of China. That is something that I think we're all gonna have to keep our eye on. I do suspect that the China, oh, come on. Like our relationship with China will be a big player here. Okay. And you know what? Oops, oopsie. Let's see, here we go. I just wanted to look up really quick. What is China's birth chart? China's sun, okay, so they count China as being born on October the 1st, 1949. That's like the current Chinese government. And so, okay, and it looks like the Chinese sun, okay, why is this doing this? I just want to see where it's going to show up on our chart. Where is their sun? I mean, geez, maybe I should just run the chart here. Let's just run it. Sorry, we're going a little bit all over the place, but I think that this is good. China's birthday, October the 1st of October 1, 1949 at 3:15 p.m. in Beijing, China. Calculate and set as chart 1. Okay, so this is the birth chart of China as we currently know it. And interestingly, look, their nodal path is in that same 2nd and 8th house axis, and their sun is there in that house of other people's resources in Libra. So that's pretty interesting. Rising Aquarius, moon conjunct the ascendant. And so I just really want to see, what does this look like? Oopsies. Okay, here we go. What does that look like here? Okay, so this makes sense. So for us, our consequences, our unresolved karma is at 14 degrees of Libra, and that's like right in the middle of this little happy conjunction that they have going on. This is a stellium in China. Our unresolved consequences are their identity. Their identity is our baggage that needs to be fixed. So I think this makes a lot of sense. Question, do you think the upcoming Olympics in China will have any effect on the return of Pluto and our money challenges? Oh, I have not even thought about that. I don't know. I guess we'll just keep an eye on it. So this on the inside is us. On the outside is China. Oh, interestingly, look at that. Their moon and their ascendant is right there creating a stellium with our south node, right? That's like our more unresolved baggage. This is a tough spot on a chart. This is a tough spot on a chart, and that's their identity. Their sun and their moon are directly impacting America's consequences. Are we going to, how are they going to trigger our consequences? Oh my gosh. Hey, you are being a crazy person. Why do you want to be crazy? Yeah. Hello. Say hi to everybody. Go away. Hi. Hello. Okay. So anyway, so that's China. And maybe let's take a little look about our current Pluto return, although we just need to talk about the plain Pluto return as well. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing some stuff that does make me be like, oh my gosh, look at that. Our south node with this Pluto return is almost exact their midheaven natally. That is telling me if there is a conflict with China, I'm putting my money on China at this point. I mean, like, oh my gosh, this is another thing. Their natal Jupiter, right, which expands everything, is going to be in this stellium right here with Venus, Mars, and Vesta and Pluto. So they're going to just blow up and expand. They will be blessed because of our conflicts, which is this little stellium is what I really wanted to talk about today. Sorry. Hey, hi. You are so loud. Wait, what are you saying, baby? Will this affect our relationship with Russia also? Yeah, I bet so. Shall we look up Russia's, let's look up Russia's birthday. And let's just see if I can, Russia. Okay, oh my gosh. Okay, well, okay. Sorry, that oh my gosh was because Russia's birthday, because they count it from the year 862, if you can believe it. So let's run this chart. Okay, September 20th. Hey, that's my grandpa's birthday. 862. Yep, okay. At 12:01 p.m. So they run from 12:01 p.m. because nobody knows what time it must have obviously happened. But when you don't know the time, 12 o'clock p.m. is a good time because That's when the sun is at the highest point of the sky and it's going to illuminate the whole chart. That's the concept. So, okay, in Novgorod, Russia. Okay, let's calculate. Select as chart 1. And I should be saving all of these. I'll save them. Save. Okay, so this is Russia's birthday chart. Interestingly, look, Russia's at 1 degree of Libra as well. I mean, like, it's interesting that both China and Russia have Libra suns. Okay, so let's just take a look-see. Scorpio rising. I think that does not surprise anybody. That's like so Russian, don't you think? Okay. So let's do 2 charts. That's Russia plus China right there. But let's pull up America's birthday, and I'm going to switch where anybody is. So look at that. Our, again, our Saturn, you know, it's not truly conjunct, but to me, it's kind of like close enough, guys, you know. Let's go back and take a look. Okay, our Saturn is like, it's in the same sign as their Saturn, and their midheaven is in the same sign with all of that. Let's see what else is kind of going off. Their moon is exact to our Jupiter right there. Okay, and now let's take a look up. We got some comments. Oh, I'm not sure why messages are not going to the whole group. Oh, I don't know. You do have to set, there's like a little spot that says to everyone or to a specific person. Anyway, all this talk of China and Russia makes me think of a couple dreams I've had of both countries coming into our own country. Anyone else have dreams like that? One dream was of both of them just watching and waiting for the right time to make their moves on us. I have had dreams like that. I have had dreams like that. So we'll just see. Here's the thing. Nobody is allowed to freak out. Because, why? Because you have your eyes on the prize. You guys are paying attention to the signs. You guys are doing the inner work. Here's the real thing. The real thing is that everything that we experience ever, but especially through this, everything that we're about to go through is just going to magnify this reality, which is that what we experience is a reflection of what's on our inside. So we need to be healing our insides so that we can always be led. We need to be practicing listening to divine insight. And I'll mention that in the, let's go back to this Pluto return. Okay, right now, Neptune is transiting Pisces, and Neptune will be transiting Pisces for a while. Where's the other Pluto return? Even in December, Neptune will still be in Pisces. This is why it's important. This Pisces to me is like how people experience the Holy Spirit. This is how we connect to our own intuition and to divine inspiration. And Neptune rules Pisces. This is a powerful energy that's going to give us all an added ability to listen and hear. And that is how we're going to get ourselves out of this mess on a personal level. We can't save the country. We can't save the world. But you and me here, sitting here watching this video, we can heal ourselves and we can listen and draw on that energy to be led in every step. And we won't see all these steps down the road, like we won't know what happens next every time, but what will happen is we will be able to listen and just go one step at a time, and that is what will keep us personally protected. So man, the other day my little son just wants to spend all his money on Legos, and I said, you know, I'm not sure I would recommend spending all of your money on Legos right now. And he said, why? And I showed him a bunch of videos on inflation. It's like, inflation for kids. And I'm like, okay, look at this. And he's like, I think what this is telling me is that I should buy even more Legos now. And I'm like, okay, well, very well, do whatever you want. But he got a little worried. And I said, no, you have to not worry. Like, this is everything we're going through right now. It can be worrisome, but we have this choice to just depend 100% on the divine. We get to choose to basically like resolve our past issues, okay? Make amends for the stuff that we've done wrong and fix it so that we can bring ourselves into alignment with the divine. And as we're listening, we're going to be led to the exact right thing at the right time. We won't know everything ahead of time as far as what needs to change or what's going to happen next. And that's not important. Actually, it's important that we don't know what happens next. The most important thing is listening so that every day, every minute, we know that we're going to be in exactly the right place at the right time for us and that we will be protected. Yes, healing every day, healing others, healing ourselves 100%. Ooh, and this is a good point. Shouldn't that be from the time the USSR fell? I feel like that date is being used by the current regime to support their aggressions against Ukraine. That's a great thing. What is Russia considered now? Or what's the name of it now? I don't even know. Because I just searched Russia birth chart, which is clearly not the right thing. So let's try USSR. Okay, it didn't find that. Modern Russia birth chart astrology. Let's see if that pulls it up. Okay, here's one about modern Russia, an astrological chart for Russia. Okay, so man, it looks like there's a lot of debate over when modern Russia is like a thing. So, because they announced a declaration, they didn't sign it until a whole different day later. They didn't start flying the new flag until later. This person says that it should count from the Declaration of Independence. I think that makes sense. Okay, so, but where's the chart? Okay, we might come back to this, but let's see. And he doesn't even tell you what time. So, okay, I might have to come back to Russia. I think that's a good point, though, of counting Russia from 1990 or 1991. I think that makes a lot of sense. So I'll run another chart. Okay, let's see. Somebody else had a good question. Is the energy from February to July more intense than July to December? What should we watch closer? I think it's going to probably hit us. I think they're all going to be pretty powerful, to be honest. One moment, let me blow my nose. Sorry. Woo, nobody had to see that. Okay, come here, baby. So, okay, there is, okay, why do you want to be a sad baby? Don't be sad, be happy. Okay, so when it comes to which thing to keep your eye on more, I'm just thinking of my friend's Saturn return. She just had a Saturn return. And at this point in her life, she's now had 5 Saturn returns, even though Saturn runs on a 29-year cycle, because this past year, she had a Saturn return in March. She had a Saturn return in July. She had a Saturn return in November, because Saturn went retrograde and then went direct again and hit her exact Saturn moment 3 separate times in a single year. And so what did this year look like for her? I should have an interview with her about this. We should just do it for YouTube so people can so we can just all learn from it. Because I don't know, I haven't had 3 Saturn returns, but I'm just trying to think back on her life. One thing that really happened after her first Saturn return, I think she had some big illnesses. I think that is true. And so she was like sick for a while at the beginning of that. Then I think after her second Saturn return, she started getting a bunch of job offers. And so this person had to go, like she started traveling across the country and interviewing with all of these headhunters looking for, they all wanted to hire her for all these different jobs. But in the end, she did not get any of the jobs. And so she ended up staying home, and that all came to a close right before her 3rd Saturn return of the year. And so that was just in November, and that's the energy that's going to go with her for the next about 30 years. But so the past year, where she had 3 Saturn returns right in a row, just from my outside perspective looking in on it, I'm like, okay, I can see how these impacted her in different ways. The first one, the second one. Ooh, and here we have somebody that has 3 Saturn returns coming up this year. Ooh la la. Yeah, keep an eye on that. Set a note on your calendar to pay attention and take some notes if you will. And there's a lot to read about Saturn returns. Like if you Google up Saturn returns, lots of people have a lot to say because people feel them. They really do. The book Gone with the Wind is actually astrologically written. Somebody found Margaret whatever's notes, and like the Tarleton twins are Gemini, right? And Rhett Butler, Red, Scarlet, Red. These are the fire signs. Rhett Butler is Leo and Scarlet is an Aries. And you know, the gray ones, Melanie means dark lady, and Ashley is like ashes, like literally gray. They're the earth signs of Virgo and Capricorn. So anyways, when does the book end? Scarlet is 28 and a half. She's coming up on her Saturn return. And what does it end? Her, you know, the famous line, she's finally in love with Rhett. And he says, I don't even care. Slams the door. She goes out running into the street and relives her worst nightmare that she's been having, this like prescient nightmare that she's been having for like over a decade. Anyway, amazing book, very depressing. I swear I would never read it again because it made me cry so much, but it is astrologically written and it's all about Scarlett O'Hara's like Saturn return. What is she going to get from what she put into her life, right? So, okay. Oh, here's a good comment. I had 3 Saturn returns and my Saturn also crosses my midheaven. After the 3rd Saturn return, I ended up seeing my marriage for what it was and got divorced. Then my income and my career became clearer. Ooh, thank you for that. Capricorn. Why did I say Capricorn? Oh, because Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn and Capricorn both deal with career and money, money in the sense of business.
Hello, why are you sad? Do you need to go take a nap? Are you the tiredest one of all? Okay. Here, hug a big puppy.
This is a dog, but my 3-year-old thinks it's a cat. She calls it her cat.
Yeah, hug a cat.
Okay. Okay. Did we have other questions in here? Do I have any insight into what we should prepare for financially, saving, investing, debt, etc.? I have 0 advice. I will say go pray about it. Okay, how do you find out when and where your Saturn return is from a star chart reading? Yeah, basically you need professional astrological software. You're not going to figure this out by accident. You're probably not going to figure it out if you try really hard. You need like the legit real deal fancy pants software. So yeah, that was actually my first. So I had my natal chart done by Reed Dunbar when I was like 19 or something. And then my first real, my aunt had that done for me and she just gave me the transcript. For me, my first real astrological reading with another person, with a real astrologer where I sat down with them and we looked at my chart, was for my own Saturn return when I was 29. So yeah, how do we see what our returns are? You will need like a $300 professional astrological software. That is what you will need. You will need to like hire an astrologer to do it or buy it yourself and figure it out. That's how to figure out your own like Saturn return. The basic AstroGold chart will run you a solar return and a lunar return. But for like the other planets, you will need a real software. You will actually have to go to a real astrologer to see it. Okay, what is the difference between a natal chart and a star chart? So a star chart refers to any of the charts. All of these are star charts that we're looking at. A natal chart is the one from your natality, natal meaning birth, like neonatal is the baby unit, right? Natal is your birth. Your natal chart is the moment you took your first breath. That is the chart that is you for your whole life. Like that's the DNA, that's the fingerprint of your life, is your natal chart. There are a ton of star charts though. So your natal chart is a star chart, but there are lots of star charts, but there's only one natal chart per person. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, so, okay, I'm mixing out of comments for a minute. Let's go back to, okay, we have about 15 minutes. Okay, this is February 20th, 2022. This is the one coming up in 3 weeks. And this is the stellium that has been getting my little heart palpitating, okay? Because, okay, this is the thing that has really stood out to me. Venus plus Mars at 19 degrees of Capricorn. Okay. Anytime there's a Venus and Mars conjunction, okay, Venus is the quintessential feminine energy. Mars is the quintessential masculine energy. This is love. This is war. All is fair in love and war, right? This is the energy of, do you fight with what you love or fight for what you love? It is the energy of conflict or uniting between the masculine and feminine energies. This is why I'm planning a big masculine feminine class that I'm hoping will be taking place around Valentine's Day, just like by chance, but like I want it done before, or like at least started before this. It will probably be a multi-week series. I haven't figured it all out yet, but this is the thing where it's like, ding, 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 Allie, you have to do this now. Like I was thinking about it anyway, but now it's like, oh my gosh, this is a big deal. Whatever we do not have resolved within our own hearts around this masculine feminine polarity, it's going to be triggered hardcore on a national level. Okay. On a nation level, America itself is going to be feeling the most tight, like whack in the face of masculine feminine energies that it is basically possible to have. Exact and 19 degrees on the Pluto return. So what does this mean? Okay, one thing that we know about the next 18 months, okay, this is the South Node in Scorpio. This is the North Node in Taurus. The South Node in Scorpio, and I've done some videos about this before, so I would recommend checking out the zombie apocalypse video for a lot about this. But Scorpio is the sign of sexuality. Okay, this right here is telling us that there is, how do we put it? This is going to be issues around sexuality are going to be a big thing that we deal with as a nation, and also on a global level and on a personal level. This is something that we're all dealing with right now because the South Node for the whole world is in Scorpio. Okay, so we're already dealing with issues of that, and we can see that already. We can already see that, right? Like we can already see that kind of like gender whatever, and like sexuality, sexual orientations, like this is a big talking point right now in the whole nation, and this is just telling me it's going to become more so and more intensely so, and that and this, it just is a double confirmation of that. And next to Pluto, what that is just going to tell me is like one thing that came to my mind as I was doing the zombie apocalypse video was talking about the weaponization of sexuality, and people said, well, what does that mean? Well, it means whatever you can think of that it would mean. Like, you're right. And I think it will mean it in every direction, where like I don't even want to go even more deeper into that, because I think your own imagination can help you fill in the blanks of what that could possibly mean. But I think all around the board, this is something that's going to be really in play a lot. Is this going to post on YouTube? Yes. Oh, human trafficking. Yes. Think of, yes, this is human trafficking. Yeah, we're dealing with, yes, thank you. Exactly. Yes. And so this one has made me nervous, because in an alternate interpretation, this would be like, if I had to say civil war, this is what I would see. Like, this is what I would look at, is love and war. You're fighting with the people that you love. That is that. And like Pluto is actually the planet of death, right? And Pluto is in here right on the cusp of the 7th house of your one-on-one relationships. No matter what happens, like, I'm not going to say any predictions, because guess what? I've said this before, but geez, during, 2008 to like 2014-ish, or 2016, I was a mess. I was an apocalyptic, crazy person. I spent $1 bajillion on food storage. I was actually sure the world was going to end any second now, and it didn't. And now I am out of that game. And so I can't, like, guess what? I learned my lesson from that. You can't live your life thinking that the world's going to end. You just have to live your life. And so I feel very strongly about that. We're not going to read all this and like go spend $10 bajillion on food storage. We're going to go into it and realize, like, okay, this is the weather. We're going to keep our eyes out and see what's happening, and we're going to heal our own selves. This is a lot of supportive energy to heal the internal masculine feminine dynamic, our own ways of thinking about masculine and feminine. And this is a really supportive energy for us to be looking at our one-on-one relationships with people that we really know and really love in our real lives. Where do we need to transform those relationships, and how can we do it with love instead of with war? Okay, how can we transform something with love instead of with fighting? And so an example of that, my little daughter, my 3-year-old, oh my gosh, guys, she was up like 5 times in the night between midnight and 4, and I like feel a little bit like a zombie. Like, I did not sleep at all because she just kept on getting up and just having like these like stupid concerns. It made me crazy. Then this morning she got up, of course. How fair is this? She's been up all night too, bugging me, and she's up and she's like ready for the day, and she's like, Mommy, it's time to watch TV. Put on my shows. It's 7:15, and I'm like, oh yeah, right, super no, we're not watching TV. You're gonna eat breakfast and put on your clothes, and we're not watching TV right now. So she started having this big tantrum and screamed at me. This has point, because as she was screaming at me, I just kind of like sat there and I just held out my hands to her. At the end of it, I like got down on the ground, I sat down on the ground next to her, and I held open my hands, and I just didn't say anything, and I just, did my little hug. You gonna come give me a hug? And she looked at me for maybe 5 seconds, which is kind of long. And then she started to cry, and she said, Mommy, can you forgive me? I'm so sorry, Mommy. Mommy, I love you. I'm so sorry. So I gave her a hug and we snuggled. And that was an example of how we transformed that fighting energy. We had to have a transformation in that moment, right? We were having a conflict. We were not in alignment. And so we could have both fought back and forth, where she is yelling at me because I ruined her life, FYI, and I ruin her life every day. But FYI, she is actually the one ruining my life, but I was able to say, okay, no, we're going to shift this with love instead of with war. We're not going to fight about this. I'm not going to fight about this. She can fight about this, but I'm not going to fight about this. I'm going to talk about this for one more second, then I'll check the comments. But my daughter the other day, once again, we always fight about TV. I hate TV so much. So anyways, she came in, she's like, I want to watch TV. And I said, no. So she had this huge stomping tantrum, and I just was like, I'm sorry you feel that way. And then I just left, and I just went in here and started doing my stuff. And then she came back through a little while later, and I reached out to give her a hug, and she said, I don't want to hug you because you're still mad at me. I said, I was never mad at you. I have not been mad at you at all. I was not mad. You are the one that was mad, not me. And so I want to hug you, but are you still mad at me? And it was like news to her that I was not mad. Like, she thought I was mad at her, even though I had never even acted mad. I had just been like, the answer is no. Well, you just hate me. No, I didn't say that. Like, you said that. That was your projection of my experience. Like, I don't hate you and I'm not mad at you. So anyways, this is the kind of energy that I think we're going into. I think those are symbolic of what's going to be happening up through July, at least. We're on a personal level, we're going to have a lot of opportunities to shift our personal relationships with love or war, and we get to choose which one. Okay, so I vote that we choose love. That is my vote. Okay, checking comments. I wonder if there are any astrological similarities to the American Civil War. Ooh, yeah. We'll do another. We'll sit down again very soon, and maybe I'll pull that one up, because I think that would be really interesting too. We don't talk about Bruno. If we learn from Disney, everyone took Bruno's predictions in the worst possible way instead of choosing to see it has opportunities. Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, let's not be weirdos about all this information. Let's not lose our minds, but we're just going to be aware, and we're going to focus on us, okay? And I know, I'm sure that I'm not the only person in here that feels a desire to serve other people, right? we want to help each other. We want to help the world. We wish the world was fixed. We wish that we could just stop all the terrible things and the human trafficking and all this stuff. And those are good things to want, but that's not our job. Okay. Our job right now, and especially in all of 2022, as we go through 3 Pluto returns, our job is to focus on us. What is in you that needs to be healed? Okay. What is in you that needs to be transformed in your personal relationships? And this is all going to come back to personal relationships. Because do you see this red triangle here? This is called a T-square. And I know that doesn't make sense. It's because of this line right here. And then if there was a line that went from the moon right here, it would make a T. Can you see that T? That's why it's a T-square. Even though it's like a triangle, it's called a T-square. And that's why, I know it's silly, go blame some astrologers from 100 years ago. But here we have this conflict between our ascendant in Cancer. We want to have that loving support system at home, but we're having a death and rebirth and love and war in our personal relationships. Okay, that is the big conflict for this Pluto return that we're going to feel on a national level. Everybody that lives here in America, we're going to be having this on a personal level. In my understanding, that is how it is, but it's pointing down at this moon in Libra. And Libra is the scales of justice. It wants things to be fair. It wants things to be balanced. It wants harmony. It wants love. Libra can be the one, here's different flavors of Libra. Libra can sweep concerns under the rug to keep the peace. Libra can speak appropriately at the appropriate time in order to keep the peace and say, you know what, this is not fair, but this is the solution. Libra can also be a defender energy. And I have met some really powerful men with prominent Libra energy, where Libra, a lot of times people will say that's passive. Like, is that the cat food? Is she eating cat food? I don't think she is. But a lot of men with prominent Libra are really defenders. And when they see something that's not fair, they're like ready to gird their loins and like pick up their sword and do something about it. So these are different flavors of Libra that we're all getting pointed to. We're all getting funneled into this Libra moon. Okay, our emotions about what is fair and what is not fair. So that is probably what I will take away from this today, is that this upcoming Libra, why did I say that? This upcoming Pluto return and the 4.5 months after it, I think we're going to get a lot more clarity on what is fair and what is not fair. Okay. And we're going to have a lot of opportunities to be transforming ourselves on the inside in our relationships with the concepts, the archetypal meanings of masculine and feminine, and also with how our masculine and feminine relationships showing up in our personal lives, in marriage, in our relationships with our parents, our relationships with our children, our relationships with our friends. A lot of opportunities for transformation in all of those areas. And this also, Capricorn again, deals with government. This is love and war and transformation in government. Okay, in the actual like bureaucracy, the red tape. Okay, this is going to deal with laws. It's going to deal with order. If there is a dissolution in order and structure of our nation, that will be this as well. This Pluto is a transformation of the structure and order of the whole nation. And so how will that look? I have no idea. I don't even want to make any predictions. I have been wrong so much, guys. Like, let me be clear. I have been wrong like a lot. So like, no predictions for me. All I'm saying is this is the weather report. This is what the chart says. Okay. The chart says, keep your eyes peeled, because these are kind of some of the energies that we're going to be dealing with. Okay. Okay. I think there's value in seeing how it plays out with the Pluto return. Yeah. I think it will be good to just keep our eyes out on this. I love this. I'm a Libra and I tend to defend things that I feel are right. Sometimes avoid conflict, but always trying to balance things out. Yes, that's like so Libra. I love it. I have also been curious about if your perspective of the nodal shift changed from what you originally thought. Is it not about secret skeletons coming to light anymore? I thought we could talk about that sometime if it's still relevant. I think it is kind of about it coming to light. so I think my interpretation was correct, except now it is more nuanced, because I had a lot of hope that this meant people would wake up because they would see the hidden agendas taking material form. Either way, this is a hidden agenda taking material form. The last time we had this transit was 2002, the Iraq War. People's hidden agendas taking material form. These, the hidden agendas of how are we going to get our agendas accomplished in the Middle East. Well, now we're for real in war. That's that. It took the secret hidden stuff and made it real and put boots on the ground and put men in actual war. That was that. It's the same energy of that. Whose hidden agendas are going to come out and take real life. And so I had said they would be coming to light, and they will be coming to light, and we're going to see with our own eyes how they take shape. But the difference to me now is that, 6 months ago, I was really hopeful that it would mean that people would like wake up and realize it and like take action and start changing things. I don't believe that anymore. I don't believe that. I mean, like maybe they will, but I just don't believe that, because I feel like what I've seen in the past 6 months has been a lot of truth coming to light and people just ignoring it, which is fine. I mean, like that's their business, whatevs. But I think we still will certainly see things coming to light. Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Is she eating the cat food? She is not. Okay, so that is the big addendum that I would add to my previous interpretation. I don't know that people are going to wake up. Most people are not ready to be awake, and that's exactly the problem. Like that's exactly why we're in this mess in the first place, because if people had been looking at our America's natal chart from the beginning and saying like, oh, look at this nodal path in the area of money, like maybe we should not be a bajillion trillion dollars in debt. Like maybe that was like a super terrible idea and will lead to the death and rebirth of America, and maybe not in a fun way. Like if people had been looking at their chart and saying, okay, that's a good warning, now I'm going to be informed and do something about it. If we on personal levels had been like, I mean, here's like how many people of us are, there's 72 of us here right now live. If all 72 of us had been like really proactive and we all were like going to every caucus, and we're going to all of the political meetings and all this kind of stuff, and we're like campaigning for the things, and we're making sure that there's curricula in all of the schools that's going to teach our kids about how to run a country and all this stuff. If we had been all so proactive, 72 of us probably not going to make a huge dent. Right. Even so, I know I have not been 100% in that area. If everybody in America had been 100% in that area, I think we would not be in the place that we are. And I think that is kind of some of the energy that we're going to see coming home to roost, is all the times that like we're going to see the results of what happens when a populace prefers to watch Netflix rather than go to a caucus meeting. Right. I really feel like that is what is going on here. Let me see if my system will let me, come on. Let me see if my system will let me add in Orcus. I don't know that it will, but there is another, like a Pluto-like, planet called Orcus, and it is in Leo right now. And I feel like Orcus, there's like a lot of debate about it and how it shows up in a chart and like what it means. It's a generational planet like Pluto, so it will be there for like years and years and years. But I feel like Orcus is the energy that is the downfall, the downfall that links back to Pluto. And having our Orcus in Leo, like to me, that's like Netflix. It's like us wanting to numb out and be entertained and have fun instead of like getting to work and taking care of the things that need to be taken care of. And I feel like that's the energy that has pervaded America on the whole. Not to say anything about us personally, but on the whole, I think we're going to see the chickens come home to roost from that. Okay, chat. Okay, scrolling down. It's an information war. Yes, an information war. I feel like I'm waiting for the shoe to drop, but not really in a negative way. Yeah, that's like how I feel. I'm like, something is happening. We'll just see what happens. I feel like there's going to be a major shift in my family, mostly with work. Is this what is going on, or is this just a personal thing? I am also Libra. I guess I just feel really unbalanced. Yeah, I think for everybody in America, we're going to be having some big shifts around this. I mean, this is work, and this is transformation of work. So what will that mean for us? I don't know, but like on a personal level, it will affect everybody differently, but that can definitely be a thing. Okay, they prefer not to be awake, it very much seems. Yeah, a lot of people would rather just not wake up. That's fine. That's their business. And that's exactly it. Like, no judgment. Everyone is just where they're at. But now we will see the consequences of that. It's not going to be fun for a lot of people. Like, it's not fun. It's not fun. But do we have to be in mourning about it? No, like I don't cry about it. I'm like not that worried about it. I know it's not going to be fun for a lot of people. I'm sure it probably won't be fun all the time for me, but it is what it is. Like, I'm not going to waste my time feeling bad about it. I'm going to waste my time being proactive and working, getting to work, healing myself, doing what I can for you guys. That's my big goal. Okay, comment. Thank you. So the Pluto return may be the force that awakens after the third one and when it settles in more. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know how much awakening it'll do. We'll see. We'll just see for ourselves. So, yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I can't tell you anything about what will actually happen. I can't say about any countries or exact specifics about anything. And I have no recommendations for preparations. I will say my own preparations. I've told this story before. I went down into my pantry at the beginning of 2020 when all the stores were, having these shortages and stuff like that. Back then, now we're back there. We're doing this game again. But I went down and I was like, okay, God, this is not going to last me nearly as long as I wish that it would last me. Like, okay, tell me how much food storage am I going to need to do? Like, to give me the instructions. And I had this vision of an earthquake opening up in the bottom of my basement and slurping down all of my food storage. And I just heard that voice of God saying, don't worry about it. Like, have food storage, obviously, like don't not have it, but don't lose your mind about it. You don't have to go spend $1 bajillion on it. It can all be taken away from you in an instant. The only thing that matters is your spiritual preparation, and is your heart in alignment with the divine, and are you listening? Because God can lead us to be exactly where we need to be at the right time, and God doesn't want us to be hungry. Okay, that's the thing. God does not want us to be hungry. I really believe that. And so I think for me in my whole life, because I did have dreams as a child of like a Chinese invasion, a Russian invasion, like when I was little. I mean, like 12 or like early teens, and I have not had any since. I'm not really a big dreamer person. I feel like I see a lot of visions while I'm awake, and then while I'm asleep, I'm just like out, I'm asleep. But the big point is, do we have the faith? Are we going to be in fear, or are we going to be in faith? If we're going to be in faith, then we just have to trust God doesn't want me to be hungry. God doesn't want me to be hurt. If I can just trust him every minute, I'll be led to the right place at the right time. And so one invitation to everybody, and I'll have to write this out and send it out to my list and everything. Hi, baby. Come here, you goof. One thing is that we need to ask for instructions on how to heal our stuff proactively, and we need to ask for instructions on how to practice listening to divine inspiration so that we can be led. Okay, so I want you guys to leave this and get out a piece of paper and just say like, okay, God, how do you want me to practice listening? Can you send me some little training programs, a little training exercise to help me recognize when you're speaking to me, to help me trust and build that faith that I will be led? And so just ask for tiny examples. Ask to be led to buy something at the grocery store that you wouldn't normally buy, but that will come in handy. And then see for yourself how it comes in handy. you know, try these little things and build up your muscles of your intuition so that if anything happens, you know for 100% sure that you're going to be okay. That is my goal for all of us. So, okay, I need to go. But geez, I just think that you guys are the super best. I'll put this video up on YouTube. I've got to go change a stinky diaper. Hello. Ha ha ha. So funny. Thank you guys for being here, and I will talk to you later. Oh, wait, two last things. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys. You're the best. Bye.